Excel Tutorial 3, pages 177 through 178, using a lookup function. All right, we're going to be using a VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP is notoriously difficult for my students. It is imperative that you read all about using a lookup function. Okay, even after you've read it, you may not quite understand it, but just read it, then we'll do it. Then you could go back and read it again and see if you really got it or not. And I strongly suggest you do this a couple of times. Like after we're finished, you hit undo and you go back and you try it again. Okay, when I give VLOOKUP on exam, it doesn't usually go very well. So it's extremely important that you learn this, okay? Plus, when you get out in the real world, this is something that's highly desirable as someone who has good VLOOKUP skills, because it's something in the real world that's used all the time. All right, so on page 177, to use the VLOOKUP function to calculate Daniel's active BMR, select cell C22. Press your delete key to clear out the formula that was there. On the ribbon, click the Formulas tab. Okay? Because VLOOKUP has several arguments to manage, you'll enter this function using the Function Arguments dialog box. In the Function Library group, click Lookup and Reference. Okay, here's your Function Library group. Here's Lookup and Reference. And you're going to select VLOOKUP. Okay, this is your VLOOKUP Functions Argument dialog box. Okay, let's take a look at each of the boxes. First, we have the lookup value. What am I supposed to be looking up? Then we have the table array. Where do I go and look for it? Then we have, that's going to give you the range of where it goes. In that range, what column indicates the correct answer that you want? And then with range lookup, we'll do that in just a minute, and that's where we tell it if it's false, then it has to be an exact match. Don't worry, we'll get that one in a second. Okay, so here we are with our VLOOKUP open, lookup value. What do we want to look up? We want to look up cell C9. Okay, so go look up whatever's sitting in cell C9. What's in cell C9 right now is sedentary. Very important that you have everything spelled correctly. Okay, a typo will kill this. Okay, now either tab or click, either one will take you to your table array box. Flip your page to 178. All right, where is it going to go look for this information? Okay, what's my table array, which is my where am I getting this information? It's 08 through P12. Okay, it's right over here. So it's 08 through P12. When you're doing a VLOOKUP, doing your table array, always check. Make sure it reads exactly what you want. Okay, if you messed it up, just try again. It's no big deal. Okay, so now in our column index number. All right, in our table array, how many columns do we have to choose from? 2. Okay, so it's going to go look for the word sedentary or whatever is contained within C9, and then it's going to return what is in column 2, right? Because column 1 is the actual word, column 2 is what it's going to return. Now for our range lookup, we're going to type the word false, which is telling the computer it has to be an exact match. You don't have to put this in caps, by the way, because Excel very nicely does that for you. Now, if you look at this and if everything is right, then the value returned should be 1.2, right? So it should say 1.2 right here, because we said take what's in C9, which in this case happens to be sedentary, go look in 08 through P12 for the word sedentary, then go to the column 2 when you find the word sedentary and return that to me. Okay, so what's in column 2 next to sedentary? 1.2. Okay, I need you to read this and make sure that you understand what it's telling you. Okay, so I said go find what's in C9. This is where you look, return the value that's in column 2, and it has to be an exact match for the word sedentary or, again, whatever's in C9. So we put in the word false to force an exact match. Okay, when you have that all done correctly, you go ahead and hit OK. All right, let me just move back over so we can see this. Actually, you know what? Let me just take that down a little. There we go. All right, so we're still over here. in C9, yes? All right. We're actually on page 178, step number 9. Double click cell C22 to enter edit mode. There we go. And you can use Control N or just click next to that last closed parent right there. Okay. And you're going to type times C21 and press your enter key. So it's times C21. You might want to stop real quick and just compare it to the formula that's in step 9. And you can read it says equals VLOOKUP, open parent, C9, comma, 08 through P12, comma, 2, comma, false, close parent times C21. Now, if I asked you to read this to me and tell me what it means, could you do it? I said go do a VLOOKUP, whatever value is in C9, go look that up, look in 08 through P12. When you find it, return to me what's in column number 2, and if it's false, it has to be an exact match. So if it's false, it doesn't work. It has to be the exact entry that's in C9. Okay? Press your enter key. And your value that should be returned is 2,224 calories per day for a sedentary activity level. All right? Now, let's go back up to C9. And this time, let's put in the word moderate. When you press your enter key, what's going to happen is the value that's in C22 is going to change. Did you see it? Because this time we said, okay, go find what's in C9, and now it's moderate. So it went over to the table array we gave it, found the word moderate, and returned the value that was in column 2. Correct? Okay, now let's go back to the word moderate, and now let's make it light. Okay. Now, with light activity, it returned a value of 1.375. And if you click down here, okay, we still have the exact same formula, but it's altering because of what's being returned from C9. Okay, you need to be able to read a VLOOKUP and tell me what it means. Okay, this is just a bunch of references, but you have to be able to know what you're referencing. Again, this says, take the value that's in C9, go to this table array, 08 through P12, and look for the value in C9. If you find an exact match for it, then return to me what's in column 2 of this table array. Okay? So make sure that you can read that. It's probably a good idea to hit undo and try that and make sure that you can go through it a couple times and that you really, really understand it. I'm going to hit save real quick so that you can do this, because again, yeah, you can just follow along and click buttons with me, and then when it comes to your homework, a VLOOKUP will be really hard, okay? So just make sure that you learn to read it and you understand what it's doing, okay? All right, let's move on to the last video in the series.